Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness broadcast. UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness, a Candid Gold Seal, is a registered nonprofit organization that exists to promote inner peace practices, to protect our ecosystem, and to encourage arts and crafts. The name of this episode is Robotics and Technology, a teen's perspective. Interesting, right? Let's do it. My name is Parisa Tashakori, and I'm the host of this episode. I have been in technology for over 2 decades. I'm a computer engineer. So for me, being in this episode and hosting this episode and talk with a very young and talented person who just started exploring technology and talk about a field of robotics and AI, which is fairly new. It's very interesting. I hope it is for you too. So, without further ado, let me invite our host, Deven Seth. Hi,
Hello.
Devin.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
Are you as excited as I am to talk about robotics and AI and technology?
Yes, definitely. And with your experience, I think we'll have a good discussion today.
I hope it is. Okay. So, how about you introduce yourself to the audience? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So, like as you said before, my name is Devin Seth, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm a senior in high school right now. And I've been on the robotics team for 4 years now. And last year was a big season for us because we actually went to the World Championship and we placed 14 out of like 200 teams around the world. So that was a great
Wow.
experience for us last year. Yeah.
Wow. Of
But
course.
then outside of robotics, I also like to play tennis. I play the tabla, which is this type of Indian bongo. You might have seen that.
Hmm.
And yeah, I also practice meditation, which has really been a big part of my life. Um, at this point in senior year with all the stress and college applications, robotics, all of that. So I practice the Haj Yoga, and they're they're partnered with UNESCO BMW. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah.
Yeah, it is. I practice the Raja Yoga as well, and echo on what you say. Like in your age, with all the different things that you do, someone may wonder how is that possible?
Mhm.
How do you manage that? Um, but meditation, I'm sure that it's kind of a center point, right? So it
Yes.
allows you, helps you to be active in different ways. And they are really different. So you are in music, you are in sports, you are in science and
Yeah.
technology. So I think we can invite you to come again and again in different
Yeah.
areas and field because UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness has hands in all of them.
hmm I'd love to come
Uh,
again. That would be great.
awesome. Okay. So let's talk about robotics. Tell us, how did you get to this field? Uh, how did this passion for robotics developed for you?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to my mind is Legos, and I think I was like 4 or 5 maybe when I started playing with Legos, and I think that's a lot of my friends also talk about how they started with Legos, and I think it was really just cool. I guess initially everyone starts out with like using the manual and building that, but it's it was when I decided that like, hey, maybe I don't need the instruction manual. I could do it without that. That was when I started like creatively building with Legos, and that was when I I found something cool in like the engineering field. And then in fourth grade, I did this like camp, and that's when I was introduced to computers for the first time, and we did like scratch coding, block coding, and it seems pretty simple now, but that was definitely a start in that field, and like just putting some blocks and moving this character forward and stuff like that was really cool. So I think that transferred from the physical to the like digital world with computers, where I felt there was like more scope to build with computers. And that's also after that I joined the robotics team in ninth grade, and I went straight to programming on the team because I found that was really cool how the building builds the robot and it like assembling that and everything, but the programming is what like kind of adds life to the robot, and that's what I wanted to do. So
So you
that's how
think
I
that
got it.
having robots around us is a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, we've like all of us have seen robots in the kitchen. Obviously, there's like the oven, the microwave, all of those simple things. There's also the Roomba, which you might
Mm-hmm.
have seen, and it's a small, simple robot. It just has like the sensors to locate where a wall is or where an object is in front. But it can really simplify the tasks in our daily lives, and I think robotics definitely has a lot of room to make our lives easier and allow us to focus on what we like.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
It's extremely helpful if and when it helps us do
Yeah.
the other things and the things that takes time. We can delegate to the machines so that human beings can do more. Like everything, there is controversy around it, right? So,
Mhm.
but if robots take over the world, it's just and human beings are always tend to go to the extremes, right?
Yeah.
So go out of balance.
Yeah.
And
But if we
then,
use it responsibly, I think
yeah.
definitely robotics can really bring a lot of help a lot of fields, not just like our daily lives, in the medical field, in the industrial field.
Hmm.
All the fields have a lot of use for robotics.
Yeah, I agree. I attended a seminar like later, and then the conversation was about how much AI and robotics has helped in the medical science and like
Hmm.
testing all of the combination and possibilities of, a sickness or disease. uh, it's something that it's impossible for a doctor or a researcher to do that, but like
Yeah.
AI and robotics now allows them to get the answers and have the doctors to get the answer and have the diagnostics that
Hmm.
they could never have done that before, because for one person as a human being it would take months to
Right.
get the answer that AI can get within 24 hours. So this is really amazing. This is amazing. Okay, so we really went a bit far from the agenda. So tell us about your team in the school. You said that your team and you had success in the competitions.
Yeah. Do you think I can share my screen? I will. There's
Okay, let me see if
two things.
I
Yeah.
gave you this.
Hmm. I can talk a little about the team though. So, yeah, we're part of this organization called First, and First they usually give us a challenge each year. And the last season, this challenge was like we had to place cones on a field, and the more cones we placed, and on like these junctions. Actually, I'll just show the slideshow
Yeah,
down.
yeah, I think you can. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Um. Yeah, I believe that should be sharing. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, last year's challenge was something like this. So we had a field with these poles, and we developed a solution to this with a robot that could pick up these cones and place them on these poles. And depending on the pole we placed it on, there was like different scores. So I I wanted to show this. This was the CAD file for a robot, and this is really cool. So our process is generally we um, kind of take the challenge that we're given, and we design a robot in using this CAD software. And last season we used this type of gripper mechanism here that, if you can see from the bottom, that picks up the cone from the top, and then we have these linear slides that go up and are able to place the cones. So this is a bit technical, but yeah, this was our general design. And I also have a quick video that could give a little idea of what we did. And then my main role, I did a little bit of designing, but I was mostly in programming. And this, in programming, it's really cool because we've been trying to use some newer technologies like computer vision, and that's also a big name in like technology, the tech world these days. And we worked on like using cameras to detect the cone and picking it, aligning up with the cone and placing it on the pole, was something that we worked on this season. So I just find it really cool how we're using these latest technologies, latest ideas in the field, in our team, and in a high school team.
Well, thanks for sharing a video with us. So, some other students like you might even think about robotics and this kind of advanced technology. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, they may think that this is not something that it's easy to join or easy to do, or you need to have, specific opportunities to be active in this field. So, what do you say about other people, boys and girls your age, about how or from where they can start?
Yeah, so definitely the first thing I would say is just check out at your school. A lot of teams do have a lot of schools do have robotics teams, and check if there's a local team at your school. And if not, that's fine. There's a lot of other ways as well. I'd say just the first thing you need to have is an interest, and gauge that if you have an interest, you can you can find a way. If there's a will, there's always a way. So I think the main thing I'll say is online resources are really big, and they're really useful for um, especially for the field of technology. There's like all these websites, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, all of these where you can just go online and check out a few courses, check out if you like technology, you like coding or engineering or something like that, and that's the way I would say to start out with that. So yeah, I mean, nowadays there's so much material online that
Yeah.
just going online and researching it a bit, and you'll be able to find just just the basics. Start with the basics there.
Yeah, the world that we live in, Devin, it's just there is no count of how many times I compare it with the time that I was your age and
Mm-hmm.
how limited was the resources. Like I remember at our house when I was a teenager, we had a very thick encyclopedia, and that was my world.
Mm-hmm.
That I was worried. So everything I had a question. I was even reading this section by section because there were so many things in it. So I would have thought that there is nothing more than this. But nowadays, so anything that occurs to anything that you think about it, you can get to the end of it. No
Yes.
time, right? Even the chat GPT, right? So,
Yeah.
the favorite AI, the public AI. So it's interesting how they can help you, give you ideas, you know, help you find a path towards what you're looking for.
Hmm.
It's just unbelievable how much the world has changed. And robotics and AI is that. So like Chat GPT. So what do you think about that? Do you use it?
Yeah. So I mean, just AI in general these days is really a controversial topic, and like you said, I think it really depends on how we use it is what what is really gonna determine if it's a positive or if it's a negative. And as with ChatGPT, um, I've used it a few times. I've tried it out, and it definitely does give some good ideas and stuff like that. But I think really the interesting thing with ChatGPT is if you look at how it works, it's not really like a human thinking. So ChatGPT, when you enter some any type of prompt, what it gives back to you is it just takes the information and it gives you the like keywords that are kind of that have the most weight, that like answer your question the best, and it spews out this all the kind of like keywords in a way that is kind of in a way that answers your question. So I feel like yes, it has its uses. ChatGPT does have its uses, and it can like give ideas and stuff. But I still don't think it's at the point where it can like replace humans or replace our jobs. It can make them easier, and I think we should be using ChatGPT. We should be leveraging the power of that and the power of AI for making our jobs easier. Like how we were talking about the Roomba before, this is kind of like the next level to that. But it's not something that can really replace what humans have been doing. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So as humans have the power of thinking, power of reasoning, a very
Hmm.
powerful brain, a lot of resources we have to use, but the way that we use it, the way we manage that,
Yeah.
um, it is the key, right? The,
Yes.
the the way that we manage our time, our resources is the key. So now, talking about the balance, the way that we manage ourselves, tell us about
Hmm.
meditation. So you're a very young meditator. It's interesting to hear from you how
Yeah.
technology and meditation align with each other. Some people think that, oh, like those that are into technology in the field, they are not connected to art, connected to meditation.
Hmm.
Well, at the beginning, you started with your tabla and your, tennis.
Yeah.
Just you are in different fields. Tell us about meditation. How does that help you in technology?
Yeah. 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 So meditation definitely, I think the most important thing is it's what brings balance to my life, I'd say. So as we were like discussing before a bit, I do Sahaj Yoga, and you also were talking about that. And Sahaj Yoga is like a form of meditation, which is, of course, like a way to relieve stress. But I think the main thing that makes it unique is it brings us in this state of kind of thoughtless awareness, where it's like if you want to think, you can definitely think, but it's not these thoughts of like the past and the future and all the schoolwork, the homework, all of this is just constantly on our head and constantly causing this stress. But with meditation, I feel like I'm really able to put that aside and really focus on what I'm doing, and that's really helpful for high school and just all of high school. It's really been helpful with that because there's always like this high school drama and this desire to like fit in, to wear the clothes that everyone's wearing, and all of that stuff. So with meditation, I just realized that it's all like in my head, and it's not really, no one outside really even cares about that much, but it's all really just up here. And if you can calm down your brain up here, that's what's really the solution to that. So I think that's
Mhm.
also what helps me in robotics, because there have been times where we've had sessions for like 5 6 hours. We start after school at 3 and at like 10 or 11 and the day before tournaments. So in that situation, it's always really good to just take a few minutes, few seconds even, and just take a deep breath and just look inside you and see, what am I doing? What is going on in my brain? Why am I thinking so much? And just take a step out of that and just, yeah. So it's kind of like this quick relaxation in my life so that I can just keep balance between all the things I'm doing and not get too involved in one thing.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. You must have experience, and I have experience too, and software development, programming, robotics. This is all about creativity, right?
mhm,
And that is state of creativity. It's a special state. So you can't struggle to do that. You can't push yourself to create something.
mhm,
You you have to be in the flow, right? And that doesn't happen. So I might have sit to finish a code, and if I'm stressed, if I'm, as you said, occupied with what happened yesterday or what may happen at the end, does it work? Does it not work? All of these thoughts.
mhm,
That doesn't work. That's not a state that I can create anything. I can develop anything. It's only when you are peaceful, you are in the present moment, and
mhm,
you are interestingly thoughtless is when you can create, right? So creativity doesn't matter if it's art, if it's music, if it's science and technology, it all comes from the same place,
mhm,
from the same source. And yeah, 100% agree with you. Just practice to be in that state. It's something that you need in order to have that creativity
mhm.
in the technology as well.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely been a shift in that thought process. I think people kind of used to think that if you're in technology or if you're in science, then this meditation stuff, this art stuff doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
But it's really, like you were saying, it's really about how you get into that flow and how you're like, you're able to, you can't force to be focused on something, but if you just are in that state and you're able to really flow with what you're doing, it really works out. And yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I like to continue, but we have a limited time for this episode. That was a very nice conversation, Devin. I hope that all of the listeners enjoy that and get inspired uh, by this episode to get engaged and expose if they are interested in robotics and technology. And always remember that whatever we do, wherever we are, we need to be peaceful in
Mhm.
body and mind, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Devin, for joining us in this episode and sharing your experience with robotics and technology. Thanks, everyone, for being with us, listening to this episode. Please, please, please um, contact UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness Club at info@unescobmw.org Give us your feedback on the broadcast on this episode. If you have any questions from Devin, uh, reach out to us through that email. Same for me, or any suggestions or feedback on the broadcast. We really appreciate it and look forward to receive your input. Devin, do you have any final word for our listeners?
Yeah, I first of all just want to thank UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness for having me today. And for all the listeners, I hope you are inspired just by this small podcast from today. And definitely, if you have any questions, reach out to me on the email or just in the comments. You can ask anything. And happy robotics.
Happy robotics. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again in the next episode. Have a good time, everyone. Bye.